Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Inside Movies Galore. I'm your host, David Strege, and today I have another review for you from director James Tucker of later Pink Eye. But I figured I'd go back to one of his earlier films from 1995, since David Sterling has farmed out a few of his earlier productions. He's a producer who produces SOV films, SOV meaning shot on video films, meaning shot on VHS and, rolling. Signed by Sterling, as you can see. So we have a doctor by the name of Dr. Thorne who is evidently unhappy with, some of the patients that he sees. He's a high-end doctor. We see that he is mugged in the very beginning by several gang members, and then he wakes up next to an escort, a hooker, and she takes like most of his money, and they struggle with a knife, and somehow he ends up killing her, and that starts a slew of killings that he does. And what happens is he ultimately ends up having a place where he takes some of his victims to a place where he goes out and hunts. And he ultimately takes another hooker out by the name of Candy out to these grounds of where he goes and hunts, and he basically makes her run, and he hunts her down, and we assume that something happens to her, but ultimately Candy actually has a roommate or a friend in the business by the name of Patty. And Candy is played by Mickey Levy. Patty is played by Lena Pointer. And we also have another patient by the name of Tommy, played by Alex Thomas, who evidently has not exactly had any help in the last 4 years that he has been treating him. So he takes this Tommy, who is evidently controlled by the Dr. Dr. Dorn, who is played by Cliff Drew. And what he does is he dresses up like Alan Adale, and he yells, "Ollie, Ollie, I'm free!" And yeah, it's kind of cheesy, kind of corny, but I think there was some struggling going on acting wise in the very beginning, and with the gang scene where he goes and kills the game members for trying to take money from him again. The fight scenes could have been choreographed a little better. Um, but there are a couple of lines that I will remember that will stay with me. Um, like when Dr. Dorn's secretary, um, she talks about how she doesn't like hunting and she thinks that killing animals is, you know, um, not cool. And he's like, I don't know. Uh, I think sometimes taking a life is kind of like the birth of a child, or something to that nature. And she turns around and says, "Doctor, you are one sick fuck." And he turns around and says and repeatedly says, "Aren't we all? Aren't we all?" So there is definitely some overacting. There are some moments when he gets uh, Patty, Tracy, and Tommy out to these woods uh, to play a game of hunting, where he ultimately ends up going up against, you know, the tactics of the female cop. It was There were moments of non-speaking where it looked like they were just um, waiting for dialogue. And to me, I think that there should have been a little bit more dialogue while this was going on. I mean, I know that there were some camera shots of them going back and forth through the trees, but all in all, it wasn't a bad shot on VHS film. I mean, I think the actor who played the partner of the one lady cop could have acted a little better. Um, so yeah, there could have been some things straightened out, but I like that. I like that the doctor um, had this um, idea that, you know, nothing was going right by society. Society was getting things wrong. Society was, you know, society wasn't doing it. He had to. He had to take the. He thought he was right in what he was about to do. He thought that he was enacting justice since justice wasn't happening. So it's sad, really, because in the real world, justice doesn't really happen. People, there are a lot of people who die every day. So I think when he took it upon himself and became a law-abiding citizen, and started becoming a vigilante, is when he became dangerous. So ultimately, I can see his line of thought, but he didn't have to kill everyone. Um, there's a right and a wrongness to everything, and I think he just got it wrong. In any case, hopefully you enjoyed my description of this film. I certainly enjoyed watching it. Um, it's slightly bad, but there are some lines that were decent. So ultimately, if you wanted to pick up a copy of this film, I think you can still pick up a copy from David Sterling himself. But again, here's what it looks like. I mean, he basically had someone just take it from a VHS and put and farm it out there. So yeah, definitely take a I think it at least deserves a one-time watch for those of you who are shot on video fans. In any case, like and subscribe to my page. If you have seen the film, if it was on VHS at one point in time for you, definitely comment down below if you have seen this film. Um, yeah, uh, check out some more reviews coming. I definitely have some cool reviews coming out. So thanks for listening, and hopefully you have a nice day, evening, or morning wherever you are. Have a good day.